Hello, and we are back to talk about the Valley Season 2, Episode 8. Ugh. Y'all, I really have to be careful because I am so worried that I am dangerously close to hate watching this show. And I don't like hate watching. I don't hate follow. I think people would be surprised on how many like Bravo celebrities I actually do not follow just because I genuinely like don't like them and I don't wish to engage with them, right? Like, of course I watch the shows, but I don't believe in hate following. I don't believe in hate watching. So there's a couple times in this show when I'm like, do a check-in with yourself. Do you still like this? I think. I will say we do have some friends next to us today. Tank is here. Milo is here. I don't think Milo's in the frame. And then King is all the way on the other side. Usually the doggies stay downstairs while I film, but I felt really bad. They're all being very chill right now, but Lord knows if they start barking in the middle of me talking, I'm gonna lose it. Anyways, let's get into this episode. First things first, we start off with apparently there was something said by Zach at, what was that, Brittany's pool party, shark party, where it was really rude towards Jared. Okay. Like, if you're a Vanderpump Rules girly, if you're an OG girly, you know who Jared is. That was their makeup artist, I'm pretty sure, for a while. And apparently him and Zach don't get along. Him and Janet really do get along. Cool. Jared's not on this show, right? And they also said that it happened after cameras went down. I do not want to hear about anything else that Zach may or may not have said when cameras went down and mic packs were off. We're never going to get to know what it was or if it was really bad. This is the same thing last year when they were like, oh, he was so drunk we had to kick him out of Jax's. He said something so disgusting and so awful about Janet. And we're talking about it, but there's no footage for us to see whether or not it was really that bad. And I get here, it's kind of the segue into Zach telling us, like, I feel really betrayed by Brittany. We have been best friends for a long time, and they have. They've been best friends before any of this, before Brittany was ever with Jax. Like, they're from the same hometown in Kentucky, so I completely understand how Zach feels about Brittany. I get what Brittany is saying when she's like, I don't get why people don't like Janet. Janet's never done anything to me, but Brittany has this thing, right, where she is so indecisive, I guess, on people. Maybe that's not the term I want to use. Maybe more like indifferent, right? So she keeps saying, I'm not picking sides, I'm not picking sides, I'm not picking sides. But if you're my best friend from way back in the day and you hear that I have said some off comment, some slick shit or something about somebody that you know I don't like, and instead of talking to me and being like, hey, what was up with that? You come at me saying, what did you say? What did you say? Girl, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it because you were not here. And if you really don't want to be in the middle, if you're really not choosing sides, don't worry about what I said. Shut the fuck up. Worry about what your ex-husband is saying. Now, Lord knows I never needed to hear about Sheena's enchiladas again, right? Listen, I made a video on TikTok a couple weeks ago saying, like, I low-key do feel bad for Sheena because there was a clip of her going viral on her podcast talking about how many people actually came to her birthday party. And just because she's not received well on the show by the fans, she's not a fan favorite, doesn't mean that she doesn't have friends in her real life and she's not a good person. It's like, yeah, girl, totally fine. And I feel bad for anybody who feels the need to get online at a big grown age and say, like, this is how many people came to my birthday party. I really am liked even though y'all don't like me, right? But Sheena is just going to be Sheena at the end of the day. She really is. And I do feel like she's stirring the pot here, okay? Because Janet is getting all rah-rah in Sheena's home. Talking about Jasmine, talking about Kristen, but that is not the energy she brings to their faces. And quite frankly, I don't think she would ever bring that energy to Kristen's face, but I would love to see it. I'm quite interested to see how the reunion turns out this season, right? But one thing that's really irritating me about Janet is this is maybe the second time that I've heard her talk about, well, I talked to my mom and my mom said, so when Janet and Jason talked to Jasmine at the shark party and asked about the rumor, Jason was like, oh, I'm so relieved it's actually this. They were laughing about it. They moved forward. They say they went home, spoke to Janet's mom. Janet's mom got them all riled up and was like, actually, that's like really bad. Apparently something was said like that could affect his job. Jason is a lawyer. One, let's just start there. He is a lawyer, blanket statement lawyer, right? But then I find out he is a personal injury lawyer that represents the companies, not the people that got hurt. Jason is not going to lose his job if they hear that he took off his wedding ring. They have bigger issues. They have bigger fish to fry, right? But you talk to Janet's mom. She's telling you, actually, that's not okay, blah, blah, blah. So then you get to calling Brittany and telling Brittany, I demand an apology from Jasmine. But you also want to claim that you and Jasmine have been so close and y'all have this good friendship and your feelings are hurt. So why didn't you pick up the phone, call Jasmine and say, hey girl, listen, after I sat on it a little bit, this information really kind of does bother me. In the future, if you hear these things, please come and tell me, even if you don't believe them, because I can't believe that somebody is saying those things about me. Instead, we skip to Jasmine made this up. Jasmine made this up? What do you mean? And the other thing I don't like about Janet and Jason saying this is they're saying, we've had Jasmine's back. We've had Jasmine's back with the whole Danny situation. You need to like somebody and be friends with them personally to stand for them and their partner not getting harassed. No. I don't think so. I know that people think that Jasmine dragged out the whole Danny issue with him touching her and Melissa. I'm never going to feel that way, especially because I am a bisexual woman. I used to be married to a man, right? I was in what was perceived as a heterosexual relationship. I am now in a relationship with a woman. I can tell you right now, there is a huge difference in the way that straight couples, straight married couples treat you when you are in what's perceived to be a heterosexual relationship, a man and a woman, and when you're in a queer one. There's no arguing with that. There just is. And moreover, as we saw, when Danny first thought that he touched, almost said Mary, the too many M names. Melissa, no, Michelle. When he first thought he touched Michelle, he immediately called Jesse and was super apologetic. Then when he found out it was Melissa and Jasmine, that whole apology really wasn't there. There was some time, right? I think they said that he apologized at the white party. And as we know, there's a big amount of time between the Halloween and the white party. I don't care if I like somebody. I don't care if I think that they started a rumor about me or they heard a rumor about me or whatever. I'm never going to stand for harassment. I'm never going to be like, oh, well, I don't care if you get harassed or not because you don't agree with, or you think my partner may have take off their ring when they go out. That doesn't even make sense. That's my issue with Janet and Jason. And again, like I said, they were fine with it the last time everybody checked. And then they get with Sheena. I don't know if Sheena and her enchiladas got them all riled up. Let me not blame that on her, right? But it does seem like they got with Janet's mom, bare minimum, got riled up and then took it over. And Janet was in Sheena's house like, oh, I'm done. Fuck her, blah, 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 blah. All to be like, I don't even want to talk to Jasmine. I really don't want to do this when they were at the beach. One of my other issues with like the whole, any storyline that kind of has concerned Jasmine so far is that it just seems so choppy. Now, I was talking to some of my friends about this. I could have sworn that last week, when Kristen introduced the rumor, because let's remember, Kristen said this rumor because she was not happy that Danny and Nia were under attack by what she perceived to be Jason and Janet, right? I could have sworn that Kristen said that she heard the rumor from Jasmine and that she hears a lot of the rumors from either Jasmine or Zach. But then my friends were like, no, I thought it was the other way around. We thought she said she heard it from Zach and a lot of the stuff she hears is from Jack and Jasmine. Again, getting tongue-tied, Zach and Jasmine. Either way, Kristen introduced the rumor, but now we're super mad at Jasmine and we are saying Jasmine made it up. I maintain that the men are the issue in the Valley, right? Because who are all 20 of these men in this group chat? I don't know. I know Jason technically isn't in the group chat because he has an Android, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't know these people, okay? instead of wondering what guy friends said he takes his ring off, why are we going to Jasmine made this up, okay? Also, I feel like Jasmine doesn't want to say their names because there's this whole unspoken thing in reality TV of saying somebody's name who doesn't actually like go on to the show. They don't want to be mentioned. They don't want to be found. We know how these Bravo-holics search for people and find people and dig all in their business. So it's kind of unfair to say that person's name on the show when they didn't sign up for this. And I won't lie, I saw a clip of Jasmine getting all rah-rah at the beach with Janet and Jason before I actually saw it. And when I saw the clip, I was like, ooh, Jasmine, I don't know about that one, babe. But when I saw how it actually went down, I was like, oh no, I think I would have cussed Janet out from Monday to damn Sunday because you are out of your mind. Now, I saw people saying that Jasmine read Janet down. Did she read her down? No. She didn't. She read at Janet's level. I'll say that. She read at Janet's level. Me and Raven from Bitches Better podcast were talking and she goes, the reading was very charade-like. If you know, you know. If you watch Real Housewives of Atlanta, the reading was very charade-like. We fumbled over some words a little bit. We did get the point across, but it was not eloquent. It was not flowing properly. Again, Janet's energy is weird to me because I cannot say this enough. If the last time I saw you, you were fine. You were like, okay, cool, I'm ready to move on. Next thing I know, you're having somebody call me saying you're demanding an apology. No, you can go fuck yourself. I'm not talking to you. And then you want to sit at the beach and say, if she wants to talk to me, she can talk to me. No, I already spoke to you. You said you were fine. And now you decided that you're not fine because your mom is trying to help you earn your fucking paycheck and remind you that you need to clock in, bitch. Clock in with somebody else. Clock in with Kristen. Since she's the one who brought it to you, don't clock in with me, okay? Wrong road, wrong road. And I will say, I'm really not a believer in bringing rumors to people in couples, especially if I don't have any substantial evidence, I don't have a video, I don't have anything to bring you, because people get upset about those things, right? And they like to blame others. For me, the Valley really is these straight couples trying to prove to all of the other straight couples that our relationship is fine. Our relationship is good. Actually, yours is not good. Mine is great. In reality, no marriage, no relationship is perfect. They all have issues. Now, I don't think they should have issues of grabbing ass when they're drunk. I don't think they should have issues of rumors of taking wedding rings off when they go out to bars. They for damn sure shouldn't have any of the issues that Jax brings to his relationships, okay? But it's fine to have relationships, but I think there's so much dirt going on in this group of friends, specifically the men, that it happened. It's also very weird to me that Jason had more smoke for Jasmine than he had for Jesse when they were on that wine trip earlier in the season, when Jesse got into it with his wife, Janet, and told her to her face, you are ill-equipped to argue with me. You don't want to go there with me. Jason sat there mute, didn't say a fucking word to him. I did not mean to drop the F-bomb, but here we are. Like, you have more smoke for Jasmine, but you couldn't tell Jesse, don't talk to my wife like that, bro. Like, what? I shouldn't be surprised either, right? I was surprised though when Jasmine said me and Jason are the only two black people in this group. I could have been Ava from Abbott Elementary. I said, black? Black? Who's black? Apparently Jason is Blasian. Honestly, watching Janet go from how she was at Sheena's house to how she was making snide comments at the beach before she and Jasmine had the confrontation to how she was when Jasmine was in front of her face, so triggering to me. I was like, girl, if you don't get your Karen ass out of here. She literally was like, what? You were at Sheena's house being like, she's done. She's done. Okay, then finish her. Mortal Kombat? Shit. And for me, you really might as well have painted clown noses on Janet and Jason, because to go from all that to Janet crying in the little baby ball pit thing at home to listening to Jax on the phone and eating up every lie he told, from the mortgage to how he was treating Brittany, and being like, you sound like you're doing good. We can't wait for you to get home, buddy. but saying Jasmine is unforgivable. Jax told 3 lies that we heard in that one episode, in 5 minutes of that episode, about the damn mortgage. I truly cannot. Truly cannot. And that's, again, goes back to what I say about these straight couples. You know, they said it about Danny too, like, oh, he's a dad, he's a good husband. I don't know if I've said this on here before. I cannot stand when a man does something wrong and people are like, oh, he's a good father, he's a good husband. First of all, how do you know he's a good husband? Are you married to him? How do you know he's a good husband? Are you married to him, right? Secondly, how do you know he's a good father? Because to know if he's a good father, I really do think that you have to spend time with him and see what he does at home and how he helps his partner, right? If you see him at the park with them kids, if you see him on Instagram with them kids, that is not a good dad make. I know a lot of men out there that think that just because their children know what they look like, they know where to find them, they think they are good dads. That's not fucking true. And these couples, it's like, oh, we deserve more forgiveness because we are parents. My forgiveness does not only extend to people who are parents, right? Depending on the situation, I may have more patience with you, again, depending on the situation, if you are a parent, okay? But that comes to like canceling plans. That comes to like, oh my God, girl, I'm running so late because the baby XYZ. That's where that comes in. But for you coming at me, calling me a liar, I'm not gonna just say, oh, well, they're a parent. If you are mistreating your spouse all the time, like Jack says Brittany, and you go get help, I'm not gonna say, oh, well, we should give him another chance because he's trying. No, Jax has proven himself to be Jax Taylor each and every time. And to go from that scene of him calling in Janet and Jason, playing in their face on FaceTime, to what he was saying and doing to Brittany in that home, a listening device is crazy. Texting the producer and saying, tell her I can hear all of this childish behavior. What childish behavior? I'm FaceTiming your fucking sister. I'm FaceTiming your sister and giving her an update on our lives. Brittany better than me. I wouldn't be FaceTiming his sister. I would not be FaceTiming his sister. I know that is your child's auntie. You can talk to her, Cruz. Like, you can, see her on FaceTime if you want to. Because Jax's sister is always going to have Jax's back. That's just how I perceived it, okay, from the FaceTime that I saw. I don't know the ins and outs of their conversations for real. But even when she was like, he called me and said that he's going to the hospital because his blood pressure is super high. She's like, I've had uncles that have passed away from heart attacks. You understand why Brittany is wondering, is he even really going? Like, we have to understand that, don't we? Oh boy, I really, again, so now that we're at the end of this review, do y'all understand why I'm sitting here like, Giselle, are you hate watching this? Are you hate watching this? Are you hate watching this? Also, before I wrap this up, this is really random, but I saw a clip of Nick Viall. If you know me, you know I cannot stand Nick Viall being in Bravo business. It drives me insane, okay? But he brought up the whole Jasmine on his season of The Bachelor where she was like flirting and she did not strangle him, okay, just so we're clear, but she went like this, right? The internet has been dragging her for it, and this is why I can never get with Nick Viall. Well, there's multiple reasons, okay, but he is pandering towards the internet, okay, and he says, oh yeah, I'd really like an apology from Jasmine on that one. Jasmine was on his podcast. Why didn't you say that to her then? Why didn't you say that during the episode? I'm never going to be able to get with that because you're pandering to the internet, right? You had this girl on your podcast. She never said anything. You were like, they joked about it. I've seen them joke about it even at their reunion for his season of The Bachelor. She has said, I can't believe I did that. That was cringy, XYZ. But now that the internet is bringing it up, you want to play into that. And she's getting a lot of nasty things said about her. But you just want to pile on to feel like you're included in everything. boy, bye. But that's gonna wrap up all of my thoughts on The Valley season 2 episode 8. How many more episodes do we have of this show? Because I feel like we gotta be wrapping it up soon. How much? I don't want to see Jax back on the show. I really don't, but he's back next week. Don't forget to leave a comment letting me know how you are feeling about the episode, the season, any of the things I discussed. Of course, you can find me on any of the other socials, and I will be back to talk to you about the final episode of Summer House Reunion. I'm very excited. Also, we are going to be doing Love Island weekly recaps. So I am doing episode recaps over on TikTok, but over here on YouTube, we will be talking week by week about the episodes, the villa drama. I'm so excited. If you know me, you know I love Love Island. So don't forget to, again, subscribe, like, comment, and I'll talk to y'all later.